Hi, I'm Captain Aaron Stone with the Buckeye Fire Medical Rescue Department, Training Division. And today we're gonna go over how to approach, find, sweep the body, sweep around and sweep under, finding victims during search and rescue. We're gonna go over body techniques of how to roll and flip patients, and then also single person and two-person victim drags. Let's get started. So first thing is we're gonna be low, because this is where our victims are. They're not gonna be up standing in the smoke, and our visibility is substantially better down here. So while we maneuver through the house searching, we're staying low and we're sliding. When we come across something, we're gonna stop. We're not gonna pat, because using fire gloves, we don't have a lot of dexterity and your body can't tell the difference. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sweep. Identifying, okay, I got a leg, got another leg, come up, feel the arms, feel the head. At this point, I'm gonna sprawl over the victim and I'm gonna span out, looking for any other victims in the general vicinity. Searching in front and all the way to the sides. At this point, I'm gonna come back, keeping the victim against my knees. We're gonna use a half Nelson technique. We're gonna sweep underneath the arm, hooking it like this, and rolling it into your body. At this point, we're gonna search underneath the victim, making sure that there's no children or secondary victims. At this point, I can continue to have him roll onto his back, which is a more advantageous position to extricate this victim. At this point, I've cleared all the way from head to toe, in front and underneath the victim, verifying we only have one. So we're all, at this point, I'm gonna sound off with victim, victim, victim. This is alerting the rest of my crew that I have somebody. So currently in our department, we're utilizing large as I need help and small as I do not need help. It's a single person rescue. So once I clear side, side, underneath, I yell victim, victim, victim. And what I'm waiting to hear in return is victim heard, meaning someone's coming to assist me. At that time, I'm going to sound off with large, meaning a second rescuer is gonna come assist me to drag this person out. Or I'm gonna yell small, meaning I don't need your help, I just need you to help me get out. These techniques are to save victims, civilians that were in a house fire, not firefighters. So when we grab the body, we're not grabbing for clothes or big boots, most likely not gonna be wearing them. They're predominantly going to be in their bedroom sleeping when the fire initiated. So we need to remember that they're not going to be dressed like us. So we need to manipulate the large body and joints, not grabbing for clothes, okay? So another technique in rolling the patient from prone to supine, go ahead and roll back. If you find a victim and they're against a wall or tucked behind a bed in a wall, something like that, and there's not a lot of room for you to be able to roll them like I just showed you, we're gonna do the wrist roll technique. So this time, I'm gonna come up, once I've cleared and understood that I have a victim and I've sounded off, I'm gonna take the patient's wrist furthest away from me and send it underneath the rest of his body. I'm manipulating his wrist, not grabbing on his skin in case it sloughs off, but I have a good joint. And from this position, I'm just gonna stand up. And now the patient is in more advantageous positioning to be extricated. So we've just rolled the patient into the supine position. From here, because I announced that it's small, I don't need more help. So what we're gonna go over is the single person rescuer drag. So from here, I'm gonna come across, and remember, this is a way, not the way, but this is what has been found as industry standard is the best practices for actually saving victims. So at this time, not manipulating, grabbing clothing, because they're not gonna be wearing it. I'm gonna grab large body parts, his leg, manipulating his ankle. I'm gonna take the leg furthest from me and bring it towards me, crossing over the closest leg. From this position, I'm now gonna reach underneath, capturing both legs and not grabbing clothing. I'm gonna lift up as high as I can. I'm gonna bring my right knee in as close as possible, allowing his legs to fall over. From here, taking my right arm, I'm gonna shoot the gap behind his legs, right below and underneath his knees, and between my leg. So my hand is over here. At this point, we have found that having your strap gets a better lock. So once I've captured the patient's legs underneath their knees, manipulating the joints, I've captured my left shoulder strap in my right hand, creating a solid lock so I will not let go of this person. And at this point, I'm gonna lean back and to my left. The reason we're leaning back into the left is because our regulator's on this side. And if it happens to be that your victim is a little hypoxic and can act out and start grabbing at things, we don't want them to grab our regulator and our mask. So we always lean back and away to the left, guiding us out. So from here, if I'm unable to capture both of the patient's legs due to size or what have you, the technique that we have found is you take the leg, the left leg, you bring it up, you bend it, and you bring it over. From here, I capture underneath, same rules apply. I'm gonna lift it all the way up, bring my right knee in, let the leg drop over, and with the same thing, I'm gonna go underneath just this leg. By doing this, when we transition, the body will turn, creating less surface tension, but now this leg is out of play, and it's actually captured because it's falling into the direction the body wants to go. Lean back. And drag. So at this point, we've rolled the patient, we've cleared the patient all the way from the head and the feet, out in front and underneath. I already called out victim, 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 and I yelled victim large, meaning I need assistance because this is a larger victim. So right about this time, my second rescuer will become sliding up to come assist me. The technique is very, very similar. There's just two people now. So what we're gonna do is we're both gonna capture the leg, not grabbing clothing. We're gonna lift up as far up as we can, and we're both gonna bring our right knees into the patient. And we're gonna let the leg drop over. We're both gonna shoot our right arm between the patient's leg and ours. If you prefer, you can use your SCBA strap to hold on and lock it in. At this point, I'm gonna verify that the second rescuer has a good lock. Do you have a good lock?
Good lock.
All right, we're gonna go. So we're both gonna lean back and to the left, keeping, just in case this patient does come to, doesn't start grabbing on our regulator. So we're gonna. If you find yourself with a patient not in the direction of travel you need them to be, and you happen to be in confined space, in a bathroom, hallway, not a lot of space, this is the pivot technique to get them in the direction we need them to go. So you're gonna come up, you're gonna capture both legs, not using their clothing or boots, but underneath the heels. Lift up as high as you can. You come down and get real low, real close. You're gonna bear hug and stand up, and then just pivot. Once they're in the direction, you can come down into the drag, or you can prepare them for whatever means you see to extricate the patient. An alternate way of rotating the patient from the prone position to the supine position is once the rescuer comes up, remember not to pat, but they sweep the body, identifying legs and arms and head, sprawling out, clearing out in front, to the head, to the feet, coming to that position. What we're gonna go over now is called the can opener. So the rescuer is gonna manipulate the leg closest to him, crossing it over, straightening the far arm away. He's gonna take hold of the knee and the shoulder and roll the patient. This way, the rescuer can visualize and clear underneath the patient, making sure there's not a secondary patient. We're now gonna cover the victim drag for small child or infant. So firefighter is gonna be staying low, because that's where our patients are gonna be found. As he slides up and identifies that he's found a victim, he's gonna identify it, making sure, and then he's gonna call out with baby, baby, baby.
Baby, baby, baby.
And the response is baby heard. At this time, he's gonna transition the child onto his forearm, keeping the airway below the 1 foot mark. At this time, he's gonna rest all of his weight on his right forearm like a sled, keeping that airway below the 1 foot, and he's going to extricate the patient out of the IDLH. Maintaining that the arm never raises up, because once the airway goes past the 1 foot, we have now introduced harmful, toxic, superheated gases to our patient. The reason we have this stick is a visual reminder of where our patients are and where we need to keep them while extricating them out of the IDLH. At 1 foot is the cleanest, least toxic air for our victims when we find them in a house fire or a structure fire. As you can see, as it goes up, the yellow is superheated and toxic, and then once you get to the red, there is no survivability whatsoever for our victims. So this is just a good visual friendly reminder of where our victims are and where we need to keep them when we extricate them from the fire. So this concludes all of the victim drags for Search and Rescue Block 1. I implore you all to watch these videos, train with your crews, and master this. This is our craft. This is what we do. This is why we exist. This is for pulling victims out of house fires. This is our Super Bowl, so we should train accordingly. Please work with your crews, come up with different ideas, and pitch it to the training division. We will come to your station, you can demo it, and we will train with you. This is a way, not the way. So I want to empower all of you to try these, master these, and then expand on them, because we will all only get better that way. Thank you.